Alright, hello, my name is Diana da Flores, and today I'm going to be showcasing my slides over Lev Vygotsky's Sociocultural Theory and the Texas Prekindergarten Guidelines. Alright, so first, for my introduction, we're going to discuss an overview of this presentation and the person that we're going to be talking about. So this presentation explores Lev Vygotsky's Sociocultural Theory and its alignments with the Texas Prekindergarten Guidelines. Specifically with Vygotsky, he emphasizes the role of social interactions and language in child development. His ideas influence how teachers support children through scaffolding, guided learning, and collaborative play. Two of the pre-K guidelines that we will be discussing in today's slideshow will be social and emotional development and language and communication. Alright, so first things first, we're going to discuss Lev Vygotsky. So here's a brief biography of him. He was born in 1898 in Russia. Vygotsky started off as a psychologist and educator. He studied child development, learning, and the role of culture in education. His work was largely unknown in the West until the 1960s, and he died at the age of 37 in 1934, but his theories obviously remain very influential in today's society of education. Alright, so some key components that are part of Lev Vygotsky's philosophy would be zone of proximal development, which is the difference between what a child can do independently and what they can do with support. His second one would be scaffolding, which is providing structured support to help children learn new skills. Third one is social interaction and learning, which is children learn best through interactions with more knowledgeable individuals like teachers, peers, and adults. Fourth one is language as a tool for thought. Language is essential for cognitive development and problem solving. All of these four are key concepts to which Lev Vygotsky heavily advocated for and is part of his philosophy of teaching. Alright, so my first example with how Lev Vygotsky's beliefs align with pre-K education would be his connection is Vygotsky's social theory emphasizes that children learn through social interactions and guided support, which is scaffolding, and then emotional development is shaped through language and dialogue with peers and adults, helping children process and understanding feelings. Private speech allows children to verbalize emotions before developing self-regulation. And then the way all of these things can be applicated to the classroom would be through role play and social stories. These types of things will definitely get students involved more with each other and get students interacting more with each other, because that's a really big part of Vygotsky's beliefs. A third one would be through guided peer interactions, just very similar to the one before. This is where teachers model and facilitate conversations about feelings and empathy among students and amongst the teacher and the student. Storytelling and character reflection. This is where students can analyze emotions in books and connect with them to real life experiences. This is where you kind of break that boundary of, this is where teachers could have the opportunity to break that boundary of like ordinary teacher-student relations. I guess the students really interacting and talking about their feelings, which is a big part of Vygotsky's ideology. Okay, example 2. This is the guideline is child engage in conversation in appropriate ways. So the connection is Vygotsky emphasized the importance of language in cognitive and social development through scaffolding. Adults can help children expand their vocab and improve communication skills. And third, the zone of proximal development highlights that with teachers and peer guidance, children can improve their ability to engage in meaningful conversations. Ways that these can be implicated into the classroom would be turn-taking conversations, where a teacher facilitates structured discussions where children practice active listening and responding. Because I feel like a lot nowadays, that practice of how conversations flow and how they go along is kind of like overstepped, because nowadays some students find it like normal to like interrupt or to just like blur and things like that, which yeah, it's fine in school, but in the real world, conversations are someone says something, then someone responds, then that person says something and the other one responds. And so I think having children in really structured and facilitated places where they get to practice that can be really helpful towards their developmental skills of learning social and cognitive interaction with others. All right, think, pair, share activities. This is where students discuss a topic with a partner before sharing with the class, building confidence in speaking. And then third, dramatic play centers encourages children to engage in meaningful dialogue through imaginative role play. All of these help the students, just like the guidelines, help children engage in conversation in appropriate ways and facilitated ways, which makes it easier on them. All right, classroom applications, scaffolding through peer interactions. An activity could be like buddy reading. Older and more advanced peers help younger students read a book together. Teachers guide the interactions by prompting discussion and comprehension checks. And this supports language development, social learning through zone of proximal development. Second, dramatic play to build social and emotional skills. An activity could be how would you feel role playing. So children act out social scenarios like sharing toys and resolving conflict, and their teachers facilitate discussions before and after to reinforce empathy and communication. And then lastly, guided conversations for language growth. An activity could be think, pair, share, like discussed in the last slide. The teacher poses a question, the students think about their response, pair up to discuss, and then share with the class. This supports the ZPD, which is zone of proximal development, by encouraging more verbal engagement with teacher guidance. And then overall, this presentation, we explored Lev Vygotsky's sociocultural theory and its connection to early childhood education. Vygotsky emphasizes that children learning is deeply rooted in social interactions, and that development occurs through scaffolding, private speech, and zone of proximal development. By aligning his theory with the Texas Prekindergarten guidelines, we see how teachers can support children's growth in social, emotional, and language development through guided interactions, cooperative learning, and structured activities. Implementing these strategies, such as role-playing, interactive storytelling, and peer conflict resolution, helps young learners develop empathy, communication skills, and problem-solving abilities. And lastly, understanding and applying Vygotsky's principles in the classroom ensures that students receive the social and cognitive support that they need to thrive, therefore fostering a strong foundation for future learning and collaboration. And these are my references. Thank you.